The wolf shall lie with the lamb, the leopard shall lie down with the kid, the calf and the lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them. Now, these words from Isaiah chapter 11, verse 6 are a passage from the Bible that I love, even though you got to admit it makes no earthly sense whatsoever. No lamb or wolf would ever happily be in any space together whatsoever, let alone be taking a nap. The wolf, after all, would see the lamb as lunch, and the lamb would know it. Same with leopard and goat kids and lion and fatted calf. And any parent who would let a little child in amongst that group, you got to admit, social services would probably be involved. And yet this humanly illogical vision is placed before us as a vision of God's reign, of God's shalom, of God's peace, and of who we are to be. Now, the thing is, some of us are naturally wolf or a leopard or a lion, big, loud, active, demanding, extrovert. For others, we are more the lamb, kid or young calf, quiet, reflective, go with the flow, introvert. Whichever, or maybe you're somewhere in between, but both are necessary and both are good and are needed. For us as church, we need both to be real and authentic in our witness. As a society, we need both to be both human and humane, because this vision is about God's call that we respect and honor one another. And so a healthy society, whether it be church or family or a nation or nations, is one where we can all lie down together. Now, I would even say that a person who is at peace with themselves can be both as well. A natural wolf, one who is big and loud, will sometimes be called to be a lamb and be more reflective and hear the voices of others. And the lambs, the ones who rarely rock the boat, sometimes they too roar and have their voice heard. Now, all of this takes courage and strength and respect. It is difficult to go against your nature, but to hear and honor the voices of one another is the only way that all children will live in peace. Now, these past 2 COVID years have felt like a challenge, with political upheaval and restrictions and some very loud voices. There seems to have been few places where lambs would dare raise their heads above the parapet. And yet, you see, I have been at meetings, some in person, some online, where we have lived this vision. People have made space for one another and their voices. We have cared for and about one another. And in our society, it was not the loud voices of politicians who began the campaigns to applaud frontline workers or feed children, or that Black Lives Matter. It was the lambs who said, our voices and lives matter too. And they stood up and embraced their inner lion and roared. We are all called to be people of justice, whether we be natural lions or lambs. To sometimes quietly pray and serve for justice. Sometimes to speak and act and roar for it. And the love which wills the best for another human being, even if it comes at a cost to ourselves, that will help us to discern whether we are living more out of self-interest or that of God's justice love. As we live in this new era brought in by Freedom Day, many of us will still have questions and concerns. And in these days, and in all days, this is my prayer for you. Be at peace with yourself. Be still for justice love. Roar for justice love. Honor your voice and the voice of others, and know that God guides you. God bless you.